Hello guys, so today I will be making a new what if. So this what if is, what if Naruto went back in time? I have read the fan fiction about this, so it's not really my idea. I forgot the link and I can't find it anymore. So and also I cannot be asked. I cannot be asked going back to it. I'll link it if I make a new part. I will make a new part. I really like this what if. So this starts when Naruto and Sasuke are fighting Jigen, and they lose, and Naruto gets sealed in a pot. Let's say Team 7 doesn't beat the pot keeper. I call him pot keeper because he was guarding the pot when Naruto was, and they get killed. And then Jigen recovers, kills everybody in the leaf, every single one of them, and then all the ninjas in the world. And then just goes. A few months later, Naruto has finally broken out of it with his new jutsu. He made a new jutsu called, that can rip or bend space and time. And he even opened the portal to back to his world or his dimension. So once he comes back, he sees everybody dead, destroyed, village, everything, and then he's sad and angry at himself, but most importantly, he felt hatred towards all the Otsutsuki. So then Naruto decided to go train because he stood no chance against Jigen. So he went back and trained with. He went. Let's say he opened a portal to a different dimension, and Jigen didn't notice because like he didn't really care. It was like he didn't care. Like he's stronger than Naruto, but he wouldn't know that Naruto broke the seal because he's not there. He would check up, but let's say he doesn't. Yeah. So Naruto trained for, let's say, 1 to 3 years. Let's say 2.5 years, just like the time skip. After he trained, he comes back. He lets his presence be known, and then Jigen gets alerted because he felt this power before, the power of the Kyuubi or Kurama, the Nine Tails. So he goes and checks if the seal is broken, and realizes the seal was broken for a long time, and Naruto has gone way stronger. Jigen didn't train in this time. He thought he could just rest for the rest of his life because like, there was no need to try. And he gets bodied. He gets destroyed. But this wasn't enough for Naruto. Naruto still felt hatred and kept going to kill every single Otsutsuki out there because he doesn't want this to happen again to any other people, to any other world. So he just does it, kills everybody, and then the leader of the Otsutsuki hears about this guy called Naruto killing everybody, and he realizes he's a threat to the Otsutsuki, so he goes and meets him himself. And Naruto and this Otsutsuki have a fight. Naruto wins, but he's severely injured. He cannot move. He's paralyzed and he's bleeding out. And then he asked Kurama, "Was this the right choice? Did I really have to kill everyone?" And then Kurama's like, "It was your choice. Whatever you think it's right, I think it's right." And then Naruto's like, "Well, I guess we were wrong. I wish I could fix this. I wish I would never have done this. I wish there was a different way to resolve this." And then Hagoromo Otsutsuki, also known as the Sage of Six Paths, hears Naruto. He was watching everything, to be honest, but he just couldn't do anything because he didn't have enough chakra after giving it to Naruto and Sasuke. A few years later, let's say he got enough chakra and he talks to Naruto and tells him, "I've seen everything. I couldn't really do anything because I didn't have enough chakra. And now that I do, I want to help you since you were since you're repenting for your sins, and you want to fix this. So Hagoromo Tsutsuki uses his last bit of chakra again but this time to send Naruto back in time, when before he not before he entered the academy. That's too far back. Let's say a year before the graduation. So Naruto gets sent back. Everyone still hates him back then, and once Naruto arrives into his old body, he realizes that everything has been reversed, but he still has all the knowledge, all the power, or the Sage of Six Path power. So and he knows how to go Sage mode. He has all the Tail Beast chakra, and let's say this time Naruto, because I want this wave to end in a happy way, because I love Naruto, bro. Uh, so Naruto can still communicate with the Tail Beasts, and since all the other Tail Beasts are more cooperative than Naruto's one, so basically Kurama, and except for the one tail, I forgot his name, he can communicate with every other Jinchuriki, and he wants to tell them, but he can't, so he just communicates with the tail beasts, telling him, I came from the future, Hagoromo Tsutsuki. So the tail beasts will keep an eye out to this Akatsuki from now on, and if they hear about it, they will communicate to the other tail beasts. They will try to escape with their hosts, and they will alert Naruto, since Naruto is pretty much the strongest one out of all of them. And so let's say Naruto now has to do a year of school again. Well, he has to. He's gonna try. He's not going to try to graduate early, because after this, when he came back, he needs to get used to his old body, because he's used to a tall adult body, while now he's back in an 11-year-old's body, which hasn't even gone through puberty yet. So he finds it hard to walk, so he doesn't go to school for a while. And then once he starts walking again, using chakra, since his body can't like use all the chakra he had as an adult, once he tried to do like his normal jutsu, like the Rasengan or the Tail Beast Mom, he wouldn't use the Tail Beast Mom. But when he tried to go into KCM, he took a lot out of him. But then after that, he was hungry, so he went to Ichiraku Ramen. He ate, and once he stood up, he fainted because his chakra ran out, and because before, and he was really tired because of all of the fighting. Remember, I mean, his mind was tired because of all the killing, and remember, Naruto doesn't like killing. So then let's say the third Hokage was just walking past Ichiraku Ramen, and he sees Naruto, and he's about to say hello to him, but then he sees him faint, and he gets worried because he's the host of the Nine Tails. Maybe the Nine Tails trying to break out. But we all know that Naruto is already in control, because he's not the same Naruto, he's the older version of Naruto. And yeah, so he gets sent, Hiruzen takes him to the hospital. They check up and everything, and he's fine, but it's just that he used too much chakra, which Hiruzen was a bit confused, because he was the dead last. Dead last. I don't know how to say it, but my pronunciation is really bad. I'm not English, so yeah. And he was really confused, so he wanted to ask him, but he had to go back to his office to do the work, because remember, this is not the time of peace. They're still at war. All the villages, all the nations are at war. They don't like each other and everything. So he has to go back, and he will check up on Naruto once he wakes up. Naruto wakes up a week later, and he's not gonna grow. It's just that his body is getting used to all the power and the knowledge. His brain is the knowledge that he has now is immense. Like, remember, his Sage of Six Path power, it makes him understand everything. Like, for example, flying. if you learn how to fly, you can't just fly out of nowhere. But remember, because the Sage of Six Path Power is a enhanced version of Sage mode, so he already knows how to do most of the things, and has perfected the moves that he didn't have perfected before, and became a lot stronger. Uh, so he woke up, and Hiruzen asked him, "How did you run out of chakra if you don't know how to do any jutsus except for the your seducing jutsu, sexy jutsu basically?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm not sure." He was acting dumb. And then Hiruzen thought maybe the Nine Tails is trying to break out. So you know how Naruto had Anbu Black Ops around him at all times, just checking up in case something happens. I mean, he is the Leaf's greatest weapon, so he assigns more Anbu to uh, to guard Naruto in case something happened. So then he's like, okay, rest up and then go back to school. So let's say another week. So 3 weeks have passed, and Naruto is completely fine. He knows how to use his body now, but he cannot use all his chakra. Remember, Naruto ran out of chakra straight away after using KCM once and fainted for a full week. So he was in a weak coma. Uh, so then Naruto. So now Naruto has to unlock all of his chakra again, but he knows how to use all his moveset, like all jutsus, but he cannot use all of them since he doesn't have enough chakra. Like in the Hokage Naruto can make 2,000 clones just strong as him, and do Rasengan 2,000 Rasen Shurikens, or make him going to KCM 2 and all of them going to KCM 1, which is a lot of chakra if you think of it. And I don't think an 11-year-old Naruto, even if his chakra is exceptional, not control, just how much chakra he has is immense compared to the other Genin. So he still needs to unlock it, but this time he doesn't have any. He can still do shadow clones, a lot of them as well, if Kurama boosts his chakra, but he doesn't want to show off or act suspicious, because if he just shows that he can do the shadow clone jutsu out of nowhere, what's that gonna say? It's gonna look suspicious, and he doesn't really want to get that much attention. But then once Naruto started walking to school one morning, he realizes that all the villagers back in the days hated him, and they still hate him now because he's back in the days. Uh, and he's not used to this, because he's used to all the villagers looking up to him, loving him, uh, uh, um, and hoping the best for him. And they all depended on Naruto, and Naruto feels bad, and he feels sad that all the villagers were depending on him. He was the seventh Hokage, and they all depended on him to protect them, because he said he'll protect all of them, and but he couldn't do it, and they all died. He felt guilty, so he started crying and just ran through the streets. It didn't look too it didn't really look that out of order, because everyone hated him, and the Ambu didn't really think much of it, since an 11-year-old kid getting hated by all the villagers in his village. So Naruto gets to the academy really early, because he doesn't want to be late like usual when he was younger, because this Naruto is determined to change what's gonna happen in the future, and he doesn't want, but he's not going to change the events that led up to, let's say, the character development of Sasuke, or someone like Sasuke. Like, for example, if Sasuke never knew that what happened to Itachi happened to him, and but then Naruto found out as well. So Naruto knows about Itachi and the Uchiha massacre, but he doesn't want to tell Sasuke, because that would be changing. That would be utterly changing the future. He just wants to change the future, that so his village doesn't die. But he will change. I will make him change a few things, like some of the deaths of my favorite characters, like Jiraiya, but that's in the later parts. And plus he doesn't have as much chakra, so he can't just go up to Obito and tell him, "Oh, you're Obito, just come back." He can't use the Taku no Jutsu because Obito will be like, "You're just a kid, I'll just kill you now," and it will just end him. So Naruto goes to school, and he's pretty early. So let's say he's like an hour or maybe 2 hours early, because he was just bored at home, so he just went to the academy, hoping Iruka Sensei was there, but Iruka wasn't there. He comes in like half an hour before all the students do, except for Shikamaru. Shikamaru usually comes an hour early with Choji. So Shikamaru and an hour later, Shikamaru and Choji come. They greet Naruto and they say how he is and everything. And then Naruto's like, "Yeah, I'm good, I'm good." And then they realize that Naruto was early, and they found that suspicious because this is Naruto. Naruto does pranks. He doesn't want to come to school. Usually he comes like 3 hours early after Iruka Sensei drags him back to school, back to the academy. I mean, and then they found that a bit confusing, but they just let it go because there's always room for change, right? So the school days go on. The school day goes on, and everyone's pretty uh, dumbfounded by Naruto because he wasn't sleeping. He was actually listening. He was writing. He was doing everything the teacher told him. Even Iruka was like, Naruto is kind of suspicious. Why is he acting like this? So, and he thought he was just pranking everyone. He was just preparing for a prank or something, plotting a prank. And Iruka was on guard. But then at the end of the day came, and Naruto just went back home without doing anything. Uh, let's say a week later, Naruto decides that he wants to change clothes because he remember when he was an adult, he still wore orange. But remember Naruto the movie, he had orange trousers and a black suit, not suit, like a sweater. No, yeah, something like that. I'm not sure, but black and orange. So he wears them to school, and everyone was pretty confused why Naruto would wear something like that. Or some girls found it cool, but they still liked Sasuke more, and Hinata just liked him even more because she likes his new clothes. And Iruka and Shikamaru, since they're really smart, they start having suspicious looks to Naruto, and Naruto's like, what happened? And then they're like, nothing. But they started getting worried because um, Iruka was like a father figure to Naruto, and he cared about Naruto, so he was worried about him. And Shikamaru was just a good friend and was telling Choji is kind of suspicious that Naruto's changed a, a lot since he doesn't do pranks anymore. It's been 4 weeks he hasn't done a prank because they don't know he fainted and everything. Iruka knows, but he found that suspicious too because Naruto can barely do jutsu. So like, so then they get suspicious, and Shikamaru decides to ask Naruto why did he change his clothes in, let's say, lunchtime. And then now let's say Hinata was listening, and then everyone so he's like, oh, I changed them because the orange looked a bit too flashy. And thing Shikamaru bought it because, like, I mean, it's time for them to grow up and change since the it's leading up to the last year of the academy. And he thinks Naruto's taking school more seriously because he's about to become a ninja. Well, they don't. Naruto was the dead last, so like Shikamaru still found it weird, but he didn't show it. But he was going to keep an eye on Naruto. So after school, everyone goes home, but Naruto this time, since Naruto has to unlock his chakra again, he goes to train in the forest. So he goes to the forest, and Shikamaru and Choji are following because they're still suspicious. And the Ambu Black Ops were like, where is he going? And so they alerted the third Hokage because the forest that he was going to was near the border of the Leaf Village. Uh, so he goes. One of the Ambu alerts the third Hokage, and the third Hokage said, "I'll keep an eye on him. Don't worry, just keep watching his surroundings in case he gets attacked or something." Uh, and then Naruto's training. He trains a lot. And he's starting to unlock his chakra bit by bit. But let's say in the past 2 weeks he unlocked like 3% because he's still a kid. When he's like 14 or 15, he's going to start unlocking a lot more until he unlocks all of it. But for now, that's how he goes all his days. He keeps doing it till everyone gets used to him doing this. And then a time skip happens, and then Naruto is now 12. Is about to be graduation, and Naruto he can do the clone jutsu, but he thought it was kind of weird because he purposely failed all of the trials that he did with Iruka in the class, just to not make it too suspicious. So uh, when so he fails the exam on purpose again because he knows that Mitsuki will tell him to take the scroll of sealing, but so he will. But this time Naruto won't go. Is thinking of a different what's it called? He's thinking of something else. He's thinking about learning a few new jutsus because after the Leaf Village got destroyed, he never really got to learn all the jutsus in the scroll. So he decided to, and so he goes straight to the jutsus written by the fourth Hokage because he found because he knows that the fourth Hokage Minato is his father, and he knows the flying Raijin. So first he reads the second Hokage's flying Raijin technique, and then he goes to the fourth Hokage's technique. So he masters it because Naruto is still knowledgeable. So he masters it in less than, let's say, an hour also, till he gets found by Mitsuki. But this time Mitsuki, once he tries to attack him, and Iruka arrives right before he attacks. Iruka was about to jump in, but then Naruto shouts out multi-shadow clone jutsu, and then he attacks Mitsuki. Because he already sensed Iruka was there, and he knew he might as well just show him that he can become a ninja, and that will allow him to pass. So then he did the shadow clone. Everything happened as normal. He became a ninja. They went out for ramen, and yeah. So the next day, the teams were announced. The teams are the same, even though I want to change it, but I can't because Naruto's still dead last. Whoa. So the teams are same, but this time Naruto doesn't pull the, and then they still wait for Kakashi, but this time Naruto doesn't pull the prank, and did I mention he's trying to become better friends with Hinata too, because Hinata's his wife, bro. Like he will of course try to be friends with her. And then so Naruto, instead of waiting for Kakashi, because he already knows he's gonna be like an hour or two late, maybe even 3 hours. You never know. Times. So he goes out. He gets hungry and he's like, "Sakura, do you wanna go? Sakura, Sasuke, do you wanna go eat?" Sasuke just ignored him because he didn't care. He, he he's he doesn't care about Naruto at this point. And then um uh Sakura's like, "Why would I go out with the loser like you?" And then Naruto's like, "Alright, go on, just wait." Uh, and then she's like, "Wait, what?" And then she's like, "Okay, go on. You're the one who's gonna get in trouble. Our sensei is going to come at any moment." So he just goes out because he already knows Kakashi is gonna be another 2 or 3 hours late. So he goes out. He eats. He comes back and he takes something for his teammates too, just in case they're hungry. If not, he's just gonna eat it himself. So he goes back an hour and a half later and gives the food to both Sasuke and Sakura. And Sasuke doesn't. No, at first, Sasuke doesn't really care and just lets it be stay there. And then Sakura's like, "Oh, you actually got us food." and she's like, okay, thank you. Like, she was disgusted by Naruto, but still she had to show that she's an okay human being by saying thank you. So she started eating. She liked it, so she's like, oh, this is good. And then Sasuke started feeling a bit hungry, so he started eating as well. And then once they finish, as soon as they finish, like a minute or two later, Kakashi walks in with his Makeout Tactics book. And he's like, hmm, you guys are boring. And then, so he's like, oh, come, let's go to the roof. And then the same thing happens. Naruto, to not look suspicious. Naruto to look suspicious. He still said, oh, my dream is to become Hokage. But he also says, I want to protect all the villages. And then that candle made Kakashi a bit suspicious because at he thought Naruto wanted to become the Hokage, so everyone respected him and treated him as a person. And he didn't really think he would try to protect the people who hated him. So, the next day he tells them about the test that they're gonna have and how they shouldn't eat. But of course, Naruto eats because he already knows about the test. So Naruto, the next day comes. Naruto comes late because he already knows that this that it's BS that he's gonna come at this time. He's gonna come like an hour or two late again. So he brings Sasuke and Sakura some ramen because it's already lunchtime, and he's like, "Here, have this. There's no point of not eating because he's just lying. I mean, he said to come at this time and he's not here yet. Do you believe that we're gonna vomit by eating?" So they just ate, and then Kakashi came and saw that they weren't hungry, and he's like, and then he realized it must have been Naruto because, like, he while he was around the village, he saw Naruto walking out at that time, like late, with something in his hands. He didn't notice what it was, but he just let it go. So then they start the bell test, and then Kakashi explains the rules to them, and he begins the test. But since Naruto doesn't really want to look suspicious because everyone knows him as the knuckle-headed ninja, uh, so he starts attacking Kakashi, but with a bit more finesse with his taijutsu because remember Naruto was just throwing punches when he was fighting Kakashi, but this time, since he's a stronger and more skilled Naruto, he has a better taijutsu skill to his arsenal, and he starts fighting Kakashi, and Kakashi was put his book away because he saw that Naruto is actually pretty good. This um, so then Naruto got kicked back into a bush, and instead of going back to fight Kakashi, he made a shadow clone, and he made the shadow clone go jump back with a kunai while he went to find Sasuke and Sakura because he already knows what this test is all about. So he tells them, he finds both of them, he gathers them, and he explains his plan that Naruto will go in first. His shadow clone is already fighting for him. It's going to explode soon because he has an exploding tag to him. And then Sasuke was actually surprised that Naruto was this smart, but didn't really pay too much attention to it. And he explained that I will go in first. I will be the the decoy, and I will make an opening for you, Sasuke. So you do a fireball jutsu, and then we start fighting him together. While you, Sakura, you will be near the bush, cheering on Sasuke. But then, and then my shadow clone will dig a hole in the ground, and then once uh, once we stop Kakashi in one spot, you will come out. My shadow clone and you will come out, and we will uppercut Kakashi Sensei, so we can knock him down. I already know what this test is all about. It's all about teamwork, so please listen to me. So Sasuke was like, this is actually a pretty good plan, but since he was so prideful, he said no to it, and Sakura just copied him. And then Naruto's like, please guys, we can do this. We can't do this alone. And after a few minutes of begging, they hear an explosion, and Sasuke hears it. Sasuke thinks to his head, oh, maybe he's right. I mean, he was telling the truth. He wasn't lying to us. His shadow clone did explode with an exploding tag. So they followed the plan, and it worked. They got the bells, and I think Kakashi was impressed, and then he realized that Sakura couldn't have digged that hole by herself. It must have been Naruto helping her, because if Sasuke doesn't know how to do Shadow Clone Jutsu and only Naruto knows how to do it, it's definitely Naruto's. So he tells them they fast, and the next morning they will have to go to the Hokage's office to get the first mission, and then Naruto's they all cheered, they had lunch, and they went their own ways. Well, Sakura followed Sasuke asking for a date, but of course she got denied. So Naruto, Kakashi was actually suspicious of Naruto because in his files he said Naruto was the dead last, but he wasn't. He was smart in putting an exploding tag onto his clone, thinking of the plan because he's the one who got pushed back into the bushes, and he was the decoy and everything. So he had a pretty good idea of Naruto's skills and knowledge about fighting. So he was going to go to the third Hokage to report this and tell him Naruto should not be the dead last in the academy. He is much smarter. And then he actually goes to the third Hokage and tells them Team 7 passed. And every other Jonin team leader is like, wait, for real? Team 7 with Sakura, Haruno, and uh, Uchiha Sasuke, and they're like, yeah, and also the smartest one out of all of them, Uzumaki Naruto. And they're like, wait, the smartest? He's the worst one in the whole team. And Kakashi is like, no, he is actually way smarter than what he. Uh, he's like, no, he's way smarter. Never judge a book from its cover. And then he tells them about Naruto's plan and how he had to nearly use his Sharingan, but of course he got lucky, and I mean they got the bells right before he was about to show his Sharingan and go all out. Not all out, like because there were two. There was the seventh Hokage Naruto, who had a lot of good skills at taijutsu, was fighting against Kakashi with Sasuke, and Kakashi told them, and Naruto's taijutsu may even match Lee's one as well, and Lee's taijutsu, and they all got surprised because Lee, all he knew is taijutsu, so he's a taijutsu specialist, and plus Guy Sensei was teaching him, so they were surprised that Naruto could even get up to that amount of skill and finesse. And then the third Hokage was surprised, and he was happy for Naruto because he finally became a ninja and one step closer to his goal to become the Hokage. And so uh, the next day arrives, and they take the mission. They find the cat, and blah blah blah. A month passes, and in that month, Naruto starts training a lot, hanging out with his friends Shikamaru, Choji. He even makes friends with Shino and Hinata, so they all hang out. And then I think um, Sasuke was Naruto knew that he had to take the C rank mission this month because Zabuza and Haku's death led up to Naruto's and Sasuke's ninja decision of the ninja way, because that fight was like a template for their future goals and how strong they want to get. And yeah, so so he starts being rude to the Hokage, telling him, "Old man, I want a higher rank mission." So the same thing happens, and then Tazuna walks in. So and he makes the same comment about Naruto, but this time Naruto isn't going to get annoyed. He's just gonna stand there. He's gonna be like, "All right, okay," and then thing they go out the next day. They get ready and they head out. So that's where I'm gonna end it for today. It's been 35 minutes. So I hope you all enjoy this video, and I hope you like. Please like. For the next part, I want one like, and for the next and third part, I want 2 likes. If you want the third part to be without likes, I want 2 likes. Okay. Thank you, and have a good day. Stay safe. This corona bullshit, I mean BS. This Sorry for swearing. This corona BS is annoying me. I can't go out. I can't have fun with my friends. But I hope you stay well and keep safe.